we are really excited to be here. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're so excited about this partnership and just a lot of things to share today. So first of all, thank you so much to Manny for the introduction. That's just some info about us. I create the video scripts. I'm Pinky on the Amoeba Sisters channel, and my sister does all of the illustrations and all the video editing as well. But I want to start with telling you a little bit about how we started because it's really relevant to this. We are actually sisters and we live 4 hours apart by car, so we don't see each other as much as I wish that we did. But we do work remotely with each other. And we have always, the two of us, I have always loved science. It has been something that the dream to teach it. And so this has just been a wonderful experience. And my sister has really started to love science over time. And she'll tell you a little bit more about herself in a moment as we talk about how we got started. So I was a teacher, and in my 12 years in education, I really spent a lot of that time really struggling with lectures. And that was often because with biology, there's so much to cover. I had AP biology and I had on-level biology. And there was just a lot of content, and I wanted to have more time for labs and for discussions, but I really wanted them to have the foundation knowledge. And I wanted to find a way to make that easier for them to have that, but then to also be able to make it engaging and fun. And so I remember this being kind of my hurdle, this lecture thing of trying to make it more engaging and to make it more fun. So it was a topic that I talked to my sister about with this struggle. And Serena, I'll let you tell a little bit about what happened with that.
Sure. Yeah, sorry, I'm wasn't doing a good job on the slides there. You can see those though, right?
Yes.
Bree?
Yeah,
Okay,
they
great.
look great.
It looks very different on my screen, so I'm just making
Oh,
sure. Yeah, so my sister had called me back in like 2013, and she was telling me about this problem she had. I was kind of like I was thinking back to my school time, and I was kind of more of like a B student. I kind of did, enough stuff to just, make my parents relax so I could play video games and stuff. So I was thinking about notes, and I actually had loved notes because I could take notes and be considered an active participant in class. And and I would just kind of would zone out and not really be absorbing any content, but I'd still be, participating in class. So I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, I really didn't absorb any content when I took notes. And I know notes are important because I use them to study, but I really loved Bree's problem of like trying to figure out how to get the lecture material across without spending days on days of doing notes and making time for more interactive stuff and doing more class dialogue. So, I told her, why don't you, do some kind of little lesson and I'll make a funny video. And funnily enough, she later that day broke out into like a spontaneous lesson on enzymes, which is just kind of what Bree does is spontaneous science lessons. But this one was really different. She was comparing enzymes to Pac-Man. And, I'm a big video game player. So I was like, oh, like, I get that. I understand. And so it was really relatable. It was really funny. And it was really short. And so I told her, why don't you record that message or that lesson? And I will draw some funny pictures and we'll put it up on YouTube. And so that's what we did. And it looked very homemade because I had no idea how to draw. And I don't even know why I thought that wasn't a problem, but I was using MS Paint, I was using a mouse, and Brie was recording using her phone. So there's all these pops and breathing and stuff and mistakes. But we put it out there and we're like, this is great. This is so fun. We had fun making it. And we just kind of left it there. And over time, like a long period of time, people started to find it. And it was from students who were like me that just needed this content presented in a slightly different way. Well, a lot of different way, I guess, if you're looking at those pictures. But they needed it presented in a different way just to relate to it and to find it more approachable. So this was really exciting to us. And it became like this fun sister side project that we did together. And so we started making more, and it was never meant to really be a job. We were just having a really good time making these videos. But over time we got better. I learned how to draw. which helped a lot. And Bree like bought a microphone. Although if you saw her microphone today set up, it still looks incredibly homemade. But we kind of invested in making proper videos. And then Bree really was passionate about making classroom resources that went with our videos. And teachers were able to use those. We kept them free for a long time because that was really important to us, is giving free content to teachers. Eventually we did make like paid resources, but this was kind of like the start of Amoeba Sisters. And so we still do it today. It's actually been our 12th birthday, just last or this month. It was our golden birthday. We turned 12 on the 12th. So we're really happy to be able to do this, and we really love what we do.
And some things I think that have really helped with these videos and the feedback that we get is, first of all, we think the videos have a conversational type of tone. They don't really sound like a textbook, and they don't have a lot of jargon. When we introduce vocabulary, we try to really emphasize its meaning in different ways with visuals and also describing ways to remember it, mnemonic devices. So the conversational tone we think is really helpful. The cartoon illustrations, we try to put humor in there. We also try to make sure that the illustrations are approachable, that they seem to help the concept become just, a little more approachable when you have it in a cartoon form. And we find that, everyone really seems to enjoy cartoons. It's something that it makes the biology, it gives it a little bit of fun. The third thing is timing. So most of our videos are fairly short. Most of the time they're under 10 minutes. We've been getting a little longer lately, like 11, 12 minutes, because we've been going into some more advanced topics that it's hard to keep it under 10, but we try to keep it at that timing. We also tend to repeat certain key points multiple times in the video. We like to sometimes recap the topics that were learned at the end of some of our videos. So all of that kind of goes with timing that we think has been helpful. And then also relevance. One thing that's really important to both of us is that if you're going to learn these topics, it needs to matter far more than just a test. Why is it worth learning about mitosis? Well, mitosis, if it's uncontrolled, this is something that many of us have had experience with, or with our loved ones or ourselves. Situations such as cancer is when mitosis can be out of control. These are things that are real event scenarios and situations that relate to the topic they're learning. And it can also help us understand how treatments work. We try to do that with all of our topics, because every one of our topics, we can relate it to why it really matters to learn about it. So that relevance is important to us. And Sarita, I'll let
So
you start with this one.
okay, awesome. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you had anything else you want to add before I
Okay.
started talking. Let me just, this slide keeps getting in my way and I can't see anything. There we go. So first of all, we just want to talk about our partnership with Edpuzzle. We've really admired the innovation that comes out of Edpuzzle. And I know Bree, as a teacher, has loved Edpuzzle as a tool. And we think it's really great for teachers. So we're really excited about this partnership. For us, the partnership has all about making things more convenient, both for us and for you guys. We've always been creators first before business people. And what I mean by that is we've created a ton of content, a ton of resources. We're not really great at marketing, dispersing, or cataloging them. And it's just the two of us. So we don't have any people on staff doing marketing and stuff for us. If you've seen our site, you can kind of know what we mean. This stuff is kind of everywhere. Our main passion is videos, though, and creating resources. So that's always something we've been wanting to focus. Some of our resources are free, some are paid, some are on our site, some are on Teachers Pay Teachers. And we're not really active on social media, so we don't get a good job of spreading the news when we create something new. We just kind of hope that you'll stumble upon it. So Edpuzzle has come along and helped us get all those resources into one place, or not necessarily all of them, but a lot of them. And they've organized them by topic, so you can easily browse content and find corresponding classroom resources. They've also embedded like curated interactive questions in the videos. I know lots of you are familiar with Edpuzzle, but if you're not, if you've seen those features, they allow students to, answer questions while the video is playing, and those can be graded automatically, and they prevent the student from like skipping forward in the video when they shouldn't be. Edpuzzle has also created exclusive quizzes to go with our videos, and we're really excited because in the process of giving Edpuzzle or our resources, we gave our handouts a little art makeover. And if you've seen our old videos and maybe some of our older handouts, like if you've ever come across those on our website, you know what we mean when we say they look a lot better. So we're also excited about that. But basically, our hope is that with Edpuzzle, our resources will be easy to find, and that you'll discover ones that you haven't discovered before. And Bree, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the resources that you make that I know you're really passionate about, but we haven't done a really good job of sharing out?
Yes, so these are the resources. They'll be on Edpuzzle, and we think they really help work with our videos. So first, we have recap handouts, and recap handouts are meant to be a way that you can assess the student's understanding of the topic. They can be used as exit tickets, whereas students might be doing like just a few boxes of them because they're usually in a grid box-like form, or they can be something a student does entirely altogether. They don't usually take a lengthy amount of time, and we've included all the answer keys with those so that teachers can have that for the convenience. It makes them a lot easier when you're going through to check them. We also have annotated video script templates for many of our videos. And these, I'm really excited about these. We've gotten great feedback on them. What they are is they take our script, it's kind of cleaned up to remove filler words or to remove phrases that might make it harder to annotate. And what it does is it asks the student to read through the script, to highlight key terms, vocabulary, and then also to sketch on the side to help with their understanding. And we have that for many of the videos that are more popular or have more challenging topics. And in addition, we have our Unlectured series on Edpuzzle. And what that is, it's an alternative way to then lecturing. It allows students to watch the video, use an annotated video script template, and then it has discussion slides. And these discussion slides, they don't have very many words on them. All they have are illustrations and questions that can facilitate discussion. And they come with a lengthy facilitation guide that kind of helps with that starting up of discussion. And I think as a teacher, when I first would try discussion, sometimes it'd be kind of like crickets for a while because I think it can be so different, you know, than what you're than a traditional kind of lecture system. So this allows students to, over time, they start to kind of get into these discussions. It allows every student to participate, and it really makes it so that they can understand the relevance of the topic that they're learning. And so we're really excited because all of those will be included in there, and they also are linked with the video. So it's very organized, very packaged, and it looks nice. And yes, Serena did mention that I know many of you are already familiar with Edpuzzle, but in case we have any from our audience that have seen our videos but maybe are not familiar, these embedding of questions that are within the videos, it really is a powerful tool. As a teacher, I used to use that with many different kinds of videos because by asking questions inside the video, it allows you to see right away that just-in-time feedback of, is this student grasping the concepts of this video? And it also helps when students are watching it because then they know, okay, this is an important thing for me to pick up on because it will pause there and ask questions. So this is all in addition to the other Edpuzzle features, the Edpuzzle Originals and labs that Edpuzzle offers. And we're really excited about all of that coming together.
Yeah, we know you're all very incredibly busy, and time is probably your most valuable resource. So we really think Edpuzzle's capable of being kind of like a one-stop shop for all your lesson planning. And we're really honored to be part of that. And we're hoping that by partnering with them, we're going to get everything much more organized and clear and easy for you to use. So anytime you use our videos, there's the resource right there, very clean, crisp, organized, and much prettier. So. Yeah, you want me to move to the next slide, Bree?
Sure. So we do have just some discussion questions that you can think about with the next time you have a break, just some things to think about with your classroom. But we would love to answer questions now. If you've got some questions for us, if you just put it in the chat, we'll go through. I think I saw one pop up a little earlier about languages. Did I see that? I think I saw something about asking about different languages, and
Mm.
that one, if I did see that, I think I saw it. If I even if I didn't, I do want to mention,
Even if you didn't, go
even
say
if I
it.
did, yes, a lot of our a lot of our videos do have translated subtitles thanks to our amazing community. We have a thing on our website where they can submit translate subtitles, but we also are working on having a lot of our videos dubbed in different languages with audio dubbing. That's still kind of a in progress work as far as the videos themselves. Now, with the resources, that isn't something we've discussed at this time, but that is definitely something that we can look into because I think that would be really neat. That might be something possibly for the future.
Yeah. AI is probably going to make that pretty easy soon.
Yes, as long as we get it double checked.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely double
for
check.
sure. All
Okay.
right. And let me see if I see any others on here that I just want to make sure and get to.
Alright. If we don't have any, we can hand it back over to Manny for his ending slides that he wanted us to remind him about.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Uh, sure. Well, I am looking at the console and I can share my screen and show what they'll look like. Now, I don't think I have the packs, like the premium packs enabled, um, because my Edpuzzle account is on an ambassador. Like I'm in a different school. I don't know. Anyways, so when you click on originals, oh, and somebody's asking, Jesse, yeah. So this is a premium pack, meaning that your school, not an individual, your school needs to pay for the pro version of Edpuzzle. And then on top of that, it's an add-on. You will buy the science premium pack. When you click on science, high school, you have all of this videos. Listen, this is the first time I see this. Okay, I don't know if there's more. Well, as you were talking, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if they're already up there." And then again, they look locked, so I am guessing that everyone can see this. Okay, so you have these videos, and then also the quizzes that you mentioned. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're locked for me, but you can see so videos that are uploaded into Edpuzzle, we will have closed captioning. They're automatically generated. We're working on doing all that for all the videos that we upload. You will be able to see the languages here. So Kim made that announcement on yesterday. Yesterday. You should be able to preview it. Yeah. So the video's there, but you won't be able to assign it because it's locked. It does tell you a little bit of the video, the grade levels. And then if you want to do the state standard alignment, because if you're in Texas, you have to follow TEKS. We do our own thing. And then you're here. Notice that I just click on the little square that was in originals. And then I say that I am in Texas. And then it will tell you the science. And then you'll have a list of all the Edpuzzle originals um, by TEK if it loads, because the internet is fantastic at a technology conference. Then you have this little magnifying glass thingy, and then you'll put the TEK that you're teaching for that week or that day or whatever you're doing, and it will find the Edpuzzle originals that we have that cover that TEK. All right, so that is how you'll find the state standard alignment for the Edpuzzle originals. Yeah, right there. So you tell me in the chat if you can see the Edpuzzle originals, because again, this is all new. This is just as new for you than it is new for me.
Can I
So
chime something in real fast, Manny?
yeah.
Awesome. So I know Edpuzzle's been using the player for education from YouTube, and that's been a fantastic feature. We're really happy that they're using that. And that basically that means if YouTube is blocked for your district, you
Mm.
can still use YouTube videos through Edpuzzle, as long as if they're not uploaded, but if they're linking within Edpuzzle, like all of these videos that Manny's showing you, even if YouTube's blocked, these will still show because they have a special player that they subscribe to. So it's really nice if your district is really against YouTube, this is kind of a way to get around that.
Yes. So in the US, it doesn't matter if you're in the free or the premium or whatever it is.
Yes.
Everyone has access to the YouTube player for education. So yeah, like New York, there's no YouTube, but because you're embedding it into Edpuzzle and it works for students. Outside of the US is a different thing. So you have to have a premium for you to get the Edpuzzle player for education.